everyone, I'm Chris O'Neill from Sew the Distance. Thank you so much for joining me for the October update of my quilting habits. If you're new to this series, I pick 5 things that I'm going to work on all year, and every month or so, sometimes I miss a month, I post a video on how I'm doing with those quilting habits. This is meant to inspire you, hopefully, and to help you see that we all struggle in the quilting world with things that we want to get done. I also really did not want to make this video. I've taken about 5 weeks off of video recording, and I felt a little overwhelmed coming into this, so I know there's things I'm going to forget. I have a blog, and I'll update that and make sure I get everything into it. I also have some pictures on the blog of the whole month and things that I might not have talked about. Anyway, let's dig in with the first goal, which is the no home zone. Now, if you're new to this and have no idea what the no home zone is, it is the area of my sewing room where I dump things. And if you were with me last month, you know that I had my Aunt Amy's magic bin that has all the fabric in it that I inherited from her when she passed. And I moved it back to the basement. It's a finished basement, so don't worry, it's not like damp or anything like that. And this was a really good decision because I'm glad I recognized what the problem was, because it did allow for space there, and I have been keeping it much cleaner. Now, it's not always perfect. It doesn't always look like this. I sometimes do still stack things there. However, just like with the cutting table, I am cleaning it up. So I'm giving myself a 5 out of 5 on this. I think I am tackling this habit finally as we're coming to the end of the year, so that's good. That brings us to goal number 2, which is being intentional with my purchases. And I'm going to adjust my camera a little bit because I feel like I'm hunching over. So let me do that. I'll be right back. Ah, that's better. Okay. Now I'm not like trying to stay in the frame. All right, being intentional with the sewing related purchases. I went to a quilt show. I went to the AQS Quilt Show in Lancaster this month, or last month, or whatever. And I did buy a bunch of stuff. Now, I was very intentional with what I bought. However, I went with a mental list, and that's important. I'll explain why, with everything I wanted to buy. A few things I wanted to get were some thread and some of those sticky thimbles and some patterns that I was on the lookout for. And I also wanted to get applique scissors, which I did get. And you have to buy right or left-handed ones. They're like this. They got like this duck bill on them. I used them to cut away the backing of this quilt. This is the quilt that I have been working on if you've been following along. I needed to cut away behind the appliques. I didn't do a great job, but I did get a lot of the bulk cut away. The problem is, as you may or may not know, I am ambidextrous. You know what I mean. I put the word up here. You know, when you turn the cameras on, all things in your brain fall out. It's amazing. Anyway, I can use both hands. I had to get the right-handed ones. I used them, and I still can't figure out how to use them right. I think it's because I get all twisty. I don't know. I couldn't. But I ended up making it work. Would I buy these again? Probably not, just because I really did struggle with the angles and how to use them. They're nice and sharp, however, and I really did like that. I also got, like I said, some thread for some machine quilting because I've been doing a lot of that lately. I had such a good time. I also took another trip to Lancaster to see Sight and Sound. I saw Noah with my mom. I did that a few weeks after this trip, so I spent a lot of time in Lancaster this month. I also bought the fabric and materials to make a witch's hat that are so popular right now. This was a lot of fun to make. I made this for my youngest son's girlfriend's birthday. She really wanted one, and I do love the way it turned out. I don't have it because I sent it to her in Vermont, so it's there, but it did turn out really cute, and I had a lot of fun making it. So overall, I did really well with intentional purchases. It was nice going with a shopping list in my mind. I wish I would have had it on paper because there are a few things I wanted to pick up that I forgot about. So next time I will definitely do that. And that brings me to something. Oh, did I score myself? I don't think I scored myself. I might have. I think I did a 4 out of 5 on this. I had to look. Okay, so that brings us to the paring down of the scraps. I am kicking butt with this. I'm getting projects done. I've been doing all kinds of things. I finished up the hexagon quilt that I showed a few minutes ago. I finished up the So Merry quilt from this summer. I have that all bound and quilted. I also worked on my mile a minute quilt, this one. This quilt is a tutorial from 2022, so years ago. One of my earlier tutorials, so please forgive any of the lighting or sound or anything issues. This was a lot of fun to finish up finally. I also made the Scrappy Pumpkin video. I have a tutorial on that, so I used up some scraps there. I've been working on the leaders and enders projects. I've just been having a good time working on different projects this month. And again, I'll explain a little bit more when we get to goal number 5 too, because that's really does encompass everything this month. I probably should have put that one first. So I'm giving myself a 5 out of 5 on paring down the scraps. I really do believe that having all of my fabric out so I can see it helps. I see what I have. I know what I can make. I get inspired by it. It's been great. That habit may be conquered, which is good because we're coming to the end of the year, like I said before. So yay! All right, now the next one I didn't do so well with. This is getting out of my quilting comfort zone. I still haven't made that shirt. I'm not sure that that's going to get done this year, but I did do a very interesting quilted sweatshirt. I went to a thrift shop, before I show it to you, I went to a thrift shop and I found a sweatshirt that was in the clearance bin. It had a few stains on it. It's pilled. I wanted to try it out. I also had a piece of a cutter quilt, an antique cutter quilt that I had left over from some pillows that I made. So I decided to use Quilter's Candy's pattern, and I made a sweatshirt. You can see it here. I just appliqued it on. Yeah. I probably didn't do the best job at picking out a fabric for this because it does look like this ghost is wearing a scarf or something. Maybe I should have done a snowman. But I do like it. It was a lot of fun, easy. I don't know, it took me like an hour, if that, to make the whole thing. And it was a lot of fun to make. Other than the sweatshirt and the witch's hat, that's probably as far out of the comfort zone as I got this month. Not great at all. So I'm giving myself a 1 out of 5 on this because I really wasn't very adventurous. This was something I'd had on my mind for a while, and the sweatshirt, it's cute, but it really wasn't getting out of that comfort zone. I am participating in the Quilters Advent Calendar through the online quilt magazine. I am doing that where you get 25 different patterns each day. So I'm one of the guests, and I did write a pattern and I created a project, and I can't show it to you because it's supposed to be a surprise. And if you want to sign up for that, you will get a pattern each day, I think in December, and I think day 11. I'm not sure, but I will have a pattern in that series. So I did work on that too. Okay, so goal number 5, this is kind of the big one, and this is the healthy habits update. First of all, I'm giving myself a 5 out of 5. As many of you know, I got a ton of emails and messages, which was so wonderful. Thank you so much. I took some time off, and it was really, really good for my mental health, for my physical health, for just good old burnout I had from making YouTube videos and content creation. I took some time for myself. I rested a lot. I worked on projects that I wanted to work on. I went to see Noah at Sight and Sound in Lancaster with my mom. I went to farm stands with my husband and bought mums. I just had a really wonderful, relaxing 5 weeks. It was really, really great. As for shingles, I am feeling much better. I still have some bad days, but overall, I'm having really good days. And yes, oh my goodness, every time I mention shingles, people ask me if I was vaccinated. I was vaccinated. I got both of them. I did everything I was supposed to do, and I was in that 10% or 8% or whatever it is that still got it. I also have some stresses in my personal life that probably contributed to that. So please, don't let my experience change your experience, because I can tell you shingles is brutal, and anything you can do to not get it is a good thing. Anyway, I am doing much better. I am still not perfect, but I am much better than I was, so that's good. As for Daisy, she's doing great. She met her, 12-week point for her surgery, and she is released to do anything she wants now. She is very cautious, however, so she doesn't love jumping up on things yet. She's still building up that muscle memory for her legs and trusting herself a little bit. Anyway, if you made it this far, thank you so much. Please give me that thumbs up, comment. I'd love to hear from you. And yeah, I think it's been a really good month. These videos and the blog itself serve as a diary for me, so it's been really great to look back, and I am sharing more and more with it as I go forward. I'm also starting to think about those 2026 goals and what I'm going to be doing there. We'll see. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you take some time to sew, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.